New numbers and concerns about possible exposure. Governor Hogan just wrapped up a press conference on coronavirus. There are no new confirmed cases, but we are still waiting on test results for 8 people. Hello, everybody. I'm Rick Ritter.
And I'm Nicole Baker. The governor says 7 tests came back negative today, and that does include 3 students at a Baltimore school who may have been exposed. Now, health officials, of course, are trying to track down anyone who may have come into contact with the 3 people infected here.
Now, Hogan's also taking action, hoping to make it easier for anyone who thinks they may be sick to get tested. We have live team coverage tonight. We begin with Rachel Menentoff in Annapolis with the breaking details from that presser. Rachel.
Rick and Nicole, good evening. The governor finished speaking in this room about 15 minutes ago, and he tells us that the 3 people who tested positive for the coronavirus in Maryland were all on the MS Asara. It's an Egyptian cruise line that was sailing on the Nile River. And once again, he wants to reassure people that his office is doing everything it can to keep people safe and informed. Take a listen to a portion of what he had to say tonight.
We're committed to doing everything in our power to contain this virus and to limit its spread in our state. This is exactly what our state has been actively preparing for many weeks. I want to again assure Marylanders that all levels of government are working together in response to this threat to public health.
The governor says he conducted a full investigation to determine recent public interactions of the 3 individuals who tested positive for the coronavirus here in Maryland. He says that there are at least 2 instances of public interaction between the 3 people who tested positive and the community that he believes are concerning. After returning from the cruise on February 20th, one of the patients went to an event in Philadelphia and came into contact with local school children and staff. That prompted the Central Bucks County School District to close 5 local schools today. And it was also determined that another Maryland patient who tested positive attended a public event on February 29th at the Village at Rockville. It's a retirement community where the person came into contact with as many as 100 people, including residents, staff, and outside visitors. So anyone who may have been at that event at the Village at Rockville between noon and 6 p.m. last Saturday is told to go to their doctor immediately. And tonight, the governor said that if you believe you've come into contact with someone with the coronavirus, you can go to your doctor and get tested for free, whether you have health insurance or not. For now, we're live in Annapolis. I'm Rachel Menentoff for WJZ.
Important information, Rachel. Thank you. Let's bring in WJZ investigator Mike Helgren now.
He's been tracking the positive cases and is also live in Montgomery County, where those patients live. Mike.
Nicole and Rick, we're at the National Institutes of Health where they're trying to fast track a vaccine. Trials start next week, but we're still a year off to 18 months off before we get that vaccine. Now, a number of people have been clamoring for more information about these 3 positive cases in Maryland. We still don't have a full accounting of where they went, and you heard Rachel talk about some of the places we know they went. We just got more information tonight. As the coronavirus spreads, both Maryland senators toured the National Institutes of Health and the labs working on a vaccine. The first phase of trials starts next week.
And as a result of the prior work done by NIH, they're in a position to respond in record time to the coronavirus as far as developing a vaccine.
For almost 2 weeks, 3 people with novel coronavirus went untested in Maryland, exposing others. They're from Montgomery County, and health officials are tracing their steps, trying to identify anyone who came into contact with them. We have learned they traveled on the MS Asara, a cruise ship in Egypt. Their cases are now linked to several other positives in Texas. The state also confirms one of the patients who tested positive in Maryland came into contact with people in Pennsylvania upon returning home, and 5 schools in Bucks County had to close because of that. Another patient attended an event at a retirement community in Rockville on February 29th at the Village at Rockville. So far, there have been 44 people tested in Maryland. 8 tests are pending. 374 people are being monitored statewide. Here's the timeline. The 3 got back to Maryland on February 20th. The state learned they were ill on March 3rd, contacted them the next day when they were tested. The positive results came back March 5th.
The CDC notified the state and notified these individuals that they were at risk and needed to be followed up. And once that communication happened, they were tested appropriately, and here we are today.
And as for those 374 people being monitored, they traveled to places that could have put them at risk, but they are asymptomatic for now. Again, no new positive cases today. If you have any questions about this, you can call the state's hotline. Just dial 211. Live in Bethesda, Mike Helgren, WJZ.